I think. I think we're all right. It looks like we're live. Everything is fully loaded on my end now. Let me just kind of clicking around a little bit, making sure everything is up and running. Cool, guys. I think we're ready to start. So welcome to the 38th weekly trade review. For those of you who do not know, my name is Alex Winkler, and I've been trading equities and for about 6 years now, 3 of which I was living in New York City. The other 3 I was in Florida and traveling. And about the last 2.5 years, I started trading cryptocurrencies. Not really because I was looking for more trading opportunities, but because our company, Enslow, which is a marketing software company, we run 2 affiliate networks. We started looking at alternative ways to pay our affiliates and our clients. And we actually started using cryptocurrencies because it was just cheaper, it was faster than, let's say, PayPal or Western Union or sending wires. It was a lot cheaper, and it was also accepted in more countries, right? And it doesn't matter what country, there's no physical place it is accepted or restricted. So we were able to send crypto to any other country. So that was a huge reason why we started using it. Anyway, I had to start buying and selling cryptocurrency. So I applied my own trading strategies, my equities trading strategies to the crypto market, and I was able to consistently grow our Enslow fund. So yeah, that's basically how all this started. And then I started documenting everything that I do online, sharing all my trades to better improve my own trading and help others become consistently profitable traders. So I think that really kind of covers a lot of the things or covers everything as an introduction wise. Let's go. So what are we going to talk about today? Like always, we're going to be talking about the top trades and the biggest lessons of last week, but we're also going to be reviewing, we're also going to be reviewing the Bitcoin and some altcoin charts to look for trading opportunities in the upcoming weeks. And then we're going to finish up with a Q&A session. But I want to start with talking about how to become a profitable crypto trader and just a profitable trader in general. And because these are things you can apply to any market, right? What we do here is not just crypto specific. I make all these videos regarding crypto just because it's kind of our niche. But again, I am actually a equities trader, so I came from the stock market or trading the stock market. So let's talk about how to become a consistently profitable trader. And really, for me, it boils down to, so I have 7 trading commandments, 7, and really the first one is always safety first. Basically a risk management strategy. You have to have a risk management strategy, not just in place, but you actually have to follow the strategy. And that is something that I talk about a lot. I talk about how to cut my losses and where I look to cut my losses, and also what kind of indicators will prompt me to get out of a trade instead of staying into it. So I talk a lot about that in my weekly trade reviews. I also talk about that in the course quite extensively. There's a whole video section on it. So I won't dive into that too much in this video, but I'll kind of lay down a little bit an overview of it. There's also 2 more things, and that is number 6 of my trading commandment, which is aim small, miss small. Basically, by knowing exactly what you want out of a trade, you can easily take profits off the table in a very safe manner and not turn into getting overly greedy or at a point of a trade where you should be getting out already because you reached your target, but all of a sudden, hope is your strategy and you're waiting to get a little bit more out of it. And that's when, you start making mistakes. So really aim small, miss small, know what you're getting into the trade, and then get out, take profits off the table when you have them. And then the last thing is my trading commandment number 7. It's getting the meat of the move. This is so important. It's kind of similar to aim small, miss small, but what it's really all about is not looking for perfect entries and exits, because that's going to really, really mess you up. You're always going to be taking too much risks, or you're going to be, trying to get at that perfect exit spot. And it's great when it happens, right? It's great when you get a perfect entry or perfect exit. You only know in hindsight, obviously, but that's the whole thing, right? It's a big guessing game. What we're trying to do is take a very calculated risk and and then when the price is shooting up, for example, and there is a lot of strength in the market, as in the market is rallying upwards, then we like to sell into that rally, take our profits off the table, take our clean whatever 2-3% if it's a day trade, or more if it's a swing trade, and then just, you know, be done with it and look for the next trade. So that is a huge thing that I like to focus on with our trading. So let's actually, I think the best way to get started is start with the trade journal .co weekly overview, and then we'll look in the chart, and then we'll yeah, we'll go from there. So let me move over to the trading screen. Did I do that correctly? I believe so. We have kind of a lot of, I'm testing out a bit different settings on here because the last video had some audio and video sync issues, so I'm just making sure everything is going right. Anyway, so this is the weekly trade review post. Anybody could see it, and yeah, so last week was a pretty good week, but let me dive in first and dive into the trade journal overview. So I only made 5 day trades this week, starting Wednesday, pretty late start in the week. And this is actually supposed to be a 1. I just corrected it, but I already took a picture earlier today. Anyway, there was 4 day trades, so $127 profit on this one. And then there was 3 trades on Thursday because we had such nice volatility. I mean, these trades were just back to back, and one of them was a loss, small scratch, and 2 were winners. I have actually a whole video on these 3 trades that I talk about extensively, so I'm going to post a link to that video once I get done with editing this video, or, you know, when I after we're done with the live stream, I'll go ahead and add a link into it. I'm not really sure how to do that right now. Anyway, the swing trades was also a really clean one. I opened a swing trade on Sunday, and then I closed it on Tuesday. It was Mana, which is Decentraland, and it is a coin that was recently listed on Coinbase, but I really like the price action, so we entered that trade for a the goal was basically a swing trade. I took a really small position on this one, about $4,000, and my ideal position is usually around $10,000. So yeah, nothing too crazy, but we still closed it off really nicely. You can see the profits were pretty sweet. I think they were about 6 or 7% off. To check that again. Anyway, we ended the week pretty strong with $1,834.99. So pretty stoked on that one for sure. And then here you can see the more long-term chart. We have oh, 1 second. We have, this was basically what we had this week. You can kind of see down here where the week started. It was on the 31st, I believe. So yeah, we had a nice, really boom. This was actually one of my better weeks. We've been waiting for a week like this. I've been missing this volatility, and we've had just so much consolidation in the market. So finally we had some volatility. It was kind of crazy because I missed all the upside, right? I didn't have any swing trades open to really capitalize on those 40% plus gains, unfortunately. But what I was able to do is we still had a lot of volatility. So every time the price came down, I was able to make a swing trade or something like that, especially after we peaked out. All my trades happened after we hit, after Litecoin, for example, hit almost $100. It hit like 99.30 cents or something like that, 3.8. And yeah, only after that, so when the market was going back down, I started trading. So it was really a cool thing because there's nothing wrong with missing an uptick like that, because there's always, if there's a big uptick, it means there's going to be just added volatility, and there's going to be a lot of trading opportunities, and that's what we were able to capitalize on. By the way, this is the newer trade journal chart. The old one is right here if you guys want to check it out. It's not updated like this one is. So right now there is 2. You can see the old one and then the new one. Just to give you guys an idea how the new one looks, you can see it basically starts right here. So here's a run up, and then here's a run up. And if you just go to the new chart, you'll see this is kind of where the first run up ends. So right here we have a run up and then it comes down, and then we have this little bump. That is exactly right here, this little bump. So this is basically now a continuation of where we left off. So we have a nice second bump and a second high right here, and I think that means we are over at $10,000 profit, but I'll have to check. I want to move over this chart eventually to the new trade journal. I just haven't had no time for that. It's been a crazy busy week, and I think all of April is going to be pretty busy. Tomorrow I'm going to start on taxes, so that's going to be, that's going to be a lot of fun. All right, let's get into good stuff. Let's review some trades. I don't know how good the internet is right now, so I already went ahead and opened up the 5 trades that I made, 4 of which were day trades, and then 1 of them was a swing trade. So let's go and review the swing trade first. This was a pretty sweet one. It looks like, yeah, so this one actually did end at 8.58%. I was kind of lowballing it. I said 6%, but yeah, it was 8.58. It feels like this trade was months ago. There's been just so much activity in the market, so it feels like almost a different time period, like a very large time period. Anyway, what we had was we had a huge spike, and then we had big support right around here where we broke out of from originally. So I had a limit order set right here, and it took out my first half of the limit order, and I had a second limit order set here. We never dropped down to that second bit, and so I missed that second entry. I could have been a bit more aggressive, but I didn't really want to risk it. And eventually overnight I got out. All I did was I had an ideal exit limit order set up. Right away, I say this all the time, what I do is the second I get into a trade, I set up an exit order right away. And where I like to set up exit orders is where we're going to have potential resistance, a little before we're going to have potential resistance. And to me, that was where we had this shoulder. I was thinking wherever there's a nice gap in a shoulder, that's what people are looking at, right? It's kind of like I don't know, a stick coming out of the ocean, or like an island coming out of the ocean. Everyone's going to be looking at the island because that is the one last peak. So if you look to the left and you see the last peak, that is what I call a shoulder. And that's typically a good place where I like to get out, take my profits, take an 8%. I mean, small position size, right? $4,000 roughly. But overall, the P and L was beautiful. And the P and L for the dollar was okay. I mean, I'll never complain about taking a $300 profit in 2 days while sleeping. So pretty sweet. Ooh, I just put this lavender like oil in there, and it is like burning my brain right now. It's pretty strong. So I'm gonna try to get through this without getting a headache, but we'll see what happens. I'm like quivering right now, like, oh, it's so strong. It was supposed to be, they always say like just put like a few drops, and that's what I did, but I think it got, it's just a little too close to me. It's all over my hands. So I'm like, whew. Okay, so let's talk about the next trade, a day trade, LTC Litecoin. This was the one I did on Wednesday, and this was a super kind of sketchy trade. And what I really said here, definitely got the blood flowing. I missed a lot of the day trades. I missed the whole run up, so I wanted to capitalize on some of the volatility, right? I didn't trade till Wednesday, even though already on Monday, I think it was, we had some just huge movements in the market. So I really wanted to do something. I didn't want to rush any trade, so I waited till we had the price come back to us a little bit. And what I did was I saw we formed a kind of double bottom, or we hit this support line, and what my goal was to try to scalp in this ascending channel that I drew. The second I drew this right when we came back up here, so I kind of connected this resistance area and general support area that we had, which is now new resistance. Just drew a general line here, which actually tapped 1, 2, 3 times in the end. And then here we had our support, we touched support here. This was more or less a double bottom. We touched support here on this trend line. And again, eventually we touched it here, but then we cracked it. And then that is when we had the downfall. I trade this one very scared. I only got that 1 point something percent, right? 1.3%. So on the lower end of my ideal exits, but I'm happy I traded it scared, because this could have really gone down hard. All I wanted was to get this little run up here. I probably could have, held a bit longer, took an extra percent, but I didn't want to risk it because I knew there was a lot of downside. So this was more of a scalp than a day trade, but ultimately roughly the same thing. So yeah, we had this downturn, and luckily I didn't have to go through any of this, because this fall was really heavy. Yeah, cool. Let's go to the next trade. These 3 trades are the ones I have videos on, so I'll just kind of give a quick highlight in this video, but I definitely recommend watching the video, because I also talk about Trade Journal a little bit, so you'll learn a little bit how Trade Journal works, and I talk about my favorite pattern, the support line bounce, and a few other things. So I'll be relatively quick on this one, but what I really want you guys to focus on is all of these trades, right? So the swing trade so far and the last trade, even though it was a scalp and a bit risky, I already had my trade thesis written out, planned out ahead of time. I knew exactly what I wanted. When the price came up, I got out of my position. I took the profits off the table and looked for the next trade. And that's really what I want to highlight in this video on how to become a consistently profitable trader, is really know what you're getting into. Don't just go into the market blindly. These are day trades and sometimes swing trades. So I'm not looking to hold these for a year. If I was looking to really go long-term with these things, I would be doing a completely different strategy, right? And I talk about that a lot, especially in the course, but these trades right here are just day trades and one swing trade. So that is something that's really, really, really important to keep in mind when trying to become a consistently profitable trader, because you have to have a strategy. You have to know when to take your profits. And if a trade no longer goes your way, you have to know when to get out of a trade. And that's actually something I'm going to be reviewing on this trade, the next one up. So watch out for that. All right. Let's see if we can get this under 30 minutes. The last weekly trade review was really, really long. I apologize for that, but it was cool. We had some people in, asked some questions, and it was just good fun. So, you could always watch it on ×2 speed, which I definitely recommend. Anyway, I gotta stop moving my hands. The smell is really strong. Okay, so this trade was the sketchiest trade I've done in a long time. My position went down really extensively. And if you see here in my background, it says, this is my basically #1 commandment, safety first. And this is where the whole safety first commandment breaks down. It's get out of a trade when it's no longer going your way. That's #1 thing. 2, get out of the trade when it's past a 1.5% via limit order, because a lot of times there'll be a fast crash and then it comes back up, but there's a crack momentum and you should be getting out of a trade. This is a really good time to get out of a trade in a limit order. If you are really, really biased and you are just believe it's going to go your way, which sometimes it does, then you have a forced market stop loss at 3%. And this is something that I have a hard time doing with the forced market stop loss, because now with Coinbase, they no longer allow you to make a market stop loss. So you might not actually get out, because if you make a stop loss that's a limit order, it might create that limit order to sell, but it doesn't mean anyone's going to execute it, especially when the price is crashing down. So this one is depending on which exchange you have, most exchanges will always have a forced market stop loss. You can get out. So that is something to consider. Yeah, so let's get back. So this trade, the reason this was a really not, I would say, a teachable trade is because I lived through this massive downturn, and this was almost 10% down. So it goes against all of my safety first rules. The problem was I was not online, I was sleeping. This was a very supposedly conservative entry. I had this limit order set, and when the price tanked, I had a really nice execution. But since I was sleeping, I was not able to get out of the trade, and the price kept going against me. Luckily, when I woke up and right around here, I noticed I had a trade and I just got out right away. I didn't want to hold it any longer. We did have a bit more upside, but that's, whatever. This actually ended up being my biggest trade of the week in a positive way, but it could have easily been my biggest loss. And I would say the biggest takeaway here is if you're going to make a limit order overnight, especially after we had a big run up like we had. I mean, Litecoin is up 300% in the last 3 months, even more. So you want to be very conservative, because when the price crashes, it can crash hard. And this was a conservative move. I put the limit order 20% below where we had a massive support. Here you can kind of see it a little bit better where I placed my limit order. I put it right around here where we bounced off of multiple times. I put it a little bit above, but ultimately we shot all the way down. Imagine I had a limit order right here. That would not be conservative, and I would have been screwed. So that is something I like to talk about a lot, is just be very conservative with your entries, especially these overnight ones. Again, I got really lucky here, and I'm a little embarrassed even talking about this, because it's really, I would say, not the most teachable thing, and it's really something I would never tell my students to do, but something like this can always happen, especially if you're placing limit orders overnight, because you can have these flash crashes. But luckily the price did not hold, right? we crashed with volume, but the volume did not stay down here. The price went right back up. So I was pretty lucky on this one, and that's kind of a big takeaway. Here's the trade that's way more teachable, I would say, and I'm really happy about how this trade turned out, even though I lost $50. And here's exactly why. So I was looking for a support line bounce again. I saw we had really nice support here, a crack here, but we came right back up, which means there is a very bullish momentum. So I placed a limit order right around this area, especially after we tapped it again. And I was looking for a reversal, right? I was kind of looking for this kind of price to hold and then bounce back to the upside. We did not really have that. I could have took, $100 profit right at this point. This is where I entered, but then the price came back down against us. And at this point, let me close here because my CPU is about to explode. Okay. So the price came down against us, and when we did not shoot to the upside, I knew that my trading thesis, right, my support line bounce was no longer true, even though we had a really nice bounce. So I simply just got out of the trade, right? There's no reason to risk it unnecessarily. So I simply got out, and I was pretty happy because imagine I held it and I, waited, and I got out over here, or even worse, I didn't get out at all, and the price just shoots down, right? Which could easily happen. That would have been a massive loss for no reason. So all I did was I just simply got out when the price was going against me. And that is a big thing I like to say is, it's okay with being wrong. I'm actually only right about 62, maybe a little bit more right now. Yeah, 62.3% of the time, but it doesn't really matter because my wins always are more than my losses because I like to get out really quickly when the trade no longer goes my way. Plus with the swing trades, I've only made 4 swing trades this year because I've been very bearish. I would say I've been having a very bearish bias, and I don't like to take swing trades when the market is going down. So I've been a little conservative with the swing trades. Anyway, I'm 100% on my swing trades right now. So that might bump up my average to maybe 65% of the time I am correct. So what my biggest takeaway is here, you could even be correct 50% of the time. And you can see with my, my average wins and average losses, it would still be fine because I would be making more money simply because the positions are bigger, or not bigger, but the average win, right, is bigger. Yeah, so that is a huge thing about being consistently profitable is have your strategy, get out when your strategy does not work, and then get out when it does work at a 2 to 3% profit if it's a day trade, or know your strategy. If it's a swing trade, I like to aim for about 10 to 15%, sometimes a little less, really depending on the move, but I always have that planned out ahead of time, and that is something I just cannot emphasize enough. Always have a plan, right? Even if it's a bad plan, it's fine because then you'll be able to realize it's a bad plan at one point and get out of the trade. So it's that simple. It really is that simple. Cool, let's go. So yeah, now you guys know about this one a little bit, and I review each of these way more in depth, and I talk about the trade journal a lot more if you guys have any questions about these pictures. So definitely check out the last video. If you just go to my channel, it's literally the last video. So I'll see you on that one. Anyway, let's review the last trade. Ooh. 1 second, water break. Okay, so this one was also, again, a support line bounce, and it was the exact trade that we just reviewed, but this time it was successful, and this was pretty cool. It was a clean 3.6 or something percent. Yeah, 3.65%, a nice P&L of $437. The position was a bit bigger than I usually take, but that's fine. I was very confident in this trade, and I'll tell you exactly why. These aren't the same pictures, are they? No, one is a lot more zoomed in. So let's go ahead with, oh, this is also a picture of what kind of happened in the future. So let's review it. Let's start with this picture. So here you can see what I did was I didn't buy when the price was going down, right? Because you don't know how far the price is going to go down. There is nice support here, and we have a nice potential upside where this general moving average is, because it's acting as a form of resistance again and again. And we have this trend line right here, which was initially resistance, then it was support, and now it is acting as resistance again, as you can see here. So I thought we had a nice potential upside move. I entered the trade when we no longer were breaking to the downside, right? We have a confirmation that the price is reversing. That's when I entered the trade. But then this little thing happened. I really didn't know what to think here. kind of upset. I was like, oh man, this is going to be the second loss in a row for kind of no reason. So I almost got out here, but I really liked how we were holding our highs here. So I stayed in. That was the reason behind me staying in, is we really were holding our highs well. There was a lot of buyers. And if you saw the order book, you would have seen the massive amount of buyers. And after such a nice bullish move like this, there's always going to be a lot of dip buyers. So kind of like what I was doing, right? I was dip buying. So then we did turn around eventually, and as we approached this line, I did not get greedy. I simply got out of the position. I took my 3.65%, my $400 profit on this trade, and closed it. You can see this time, if I held a bit longer, I could have got lucky and maybe almost doubled my profits, but that's a lot of risk, right? Every moment you're in the market, that's market exposure risk. You're basically opening up yourself to anything like this. So I love to just get in and out of a trade, and that's it, right? This also would have been a completely overnight move. Look how long this move is, right? This is a 5 minutes, so each tick is 5 minutes, but this is over the course of basically a third of a day right here. And I was about to go to bed, so I didn't want to ruin my night, and I'm going to sleep like a baby just getting out of this trade, and that's what I did here, right? There's no need to have all this stress in your life when you can easily take your profits off the table, because you don't know if this is going to happen. This could have easily shot back down, and that is something I do not want to be part of. Cool. I usually don't review all the trades, so I hope you guys found some benefit in that. It really depends how many trades there are, but this time I thought each trade kind of benefited to the lesson a little bit, besides probably this one. This one was really, I got really lucky on this trade. But overall, a really solid week. I mean, even if I didn't have this trade, I still would have had a week that was, let's see, for 700, 800, getting close to $900, give or take. So pretty awesome week. That's just about a 10% account growth in a week. So that is a beautiful thing. If you can grow your account by 10% in 1 week. With this trade, it was almost a 20% account growth. So growing your account 20% in 1 week is a beautiful thing. And over time, over the months, your account will grow to a really nice sum, and then you can really diversify, look for more swing trades, and that's our goal, right? So our goal is to build this account to $50,000 and then $100,000, and yeah, it's really just by doing these little trades over and over again consistently, and that's how we're going to get there. So let's go ahead and finish off by reviewing some charts. That's the best thing to do. So we're going to look at the day trading, the Bitcoin chart, and then we're going to look at some altcoins, and we're also going to be looking at the BTC USD short chart, because some crazy stuff happened this morning. So I want to show you guys that a little bit. Also, we are holding our highs here a little bit. I had a I had a day trading position right here. We already bounced about 2.3%, but I had a limit order right about here. So I'm not sure. I already closed it before this video. I didn't want to have a big dip. I'm not going to be chasing this price right now. Right now I have a limit order near this second support line, but again, there's no need to take unnecessary risk. I do think we might come back up here and retest this $95 level, but we'll see what happens. There have been some coins dropping like fire, like mad today. Dogecoin was one of them, or Dogecoin was one of them. They were down well over 10% at one point today. Let's see, where does today start? Well, that's not today. Today's over here. What am I doing? We're on the 4-hour chart. I thought we were on a different one. Yeah, okay, so not too bad. Not too bad of a drop. Oh, wait, I did it wrong. This is actually the candle right here. So this is actually much worse than I thought. Yeah, so roughly about 10% dip. What I really want to show you guys is right here, BTC USD short. So this candle happened today. All right, let me also bring up the Coinbase price. Okay, so based on historical price, this has been a somewhat of a support zone for shorts, and this has been somewhat of a resistance zone for shorts. And when the shorts are up here, it's typically a good time to buy, and when the shorts are down here, it's typically a good time to sell, because there's a lot more room for shorts to pile on. Anyway, what I wanted to really talk about is we have not broke this 17,000 level since March. Yeah, since March 2018. So really, kind of a long time ago, just about a year ago. And why I think this is so crazy is because we might have a general reversal where initially this was more or less a resistance, not this one. And everyone knows that former resistance is new support. So keep that in mind. We might have a big trend reversal or something happening in the shorts, which could be a big changer in the upcoming kind of events. And so I want to really highlight this area that the shorts went down about 27% in one day. So this is really a huge move. We have not seen really a move like this in quite some time. Even this move over here was not even remotely that much. So this is 14%. Kind of put it in perspective. Again, if you are new here, you probably have heard me say this already, or if you're not new here, you've heard me say this already. If you are new here, what I believe is I typically don't make trades based off this, but I simply like to understand where the shorts are because it kind of can help you determine the additional amount of risk in the market. So right now we know that there is a lot of upside room for shorts to pile on. So that is something to kind of keep in the back of your mind. And sorry if I'm talking a little weird today. I'm getting a huge headache with this smell right all over my desk, but it's like a really strong oil. So good to know for next time not to put some oil out before a video. All right, so let's move over to Bitcoin and let's talk about this one a little bit. So Bitcoin just keeps on making higher highs, and the momentum is still really strong. Yes, the RSI is pretty high, but overall we broke out of this ascending triangle pattern a little bit. We came back down to test it. We didn't hold our highs too well, so that is somewhat bearish, but what I do like is we bounced off of this level really nicely. So we might see a nice move to the upside, but I would say the biggest thing to take away here is the simple fact that we broke, especially on the daily, we broke above the 180-day moving average, right? This is huge. So this is the biggest thing to take away, I would say, for the midterm right here. We broke above this area and we held our highs. We didn't just break above it and then come right back down, right? Something like this, or yeah, in the past you would have maybe a small candle where we break above it. I mean, this was a pretty big break, but overall the moving average was just catching up at that point. But here we really broke above it, and now we're holding our highs again, and this is a very bullish indicator. What we might have, what I believe is we're going to have, is we're going to come back, we're going to retest this $5,000 line. We might even come back in the short term, as in this week, test the $4,800 line. What I really believe is we're going to come back here, do a bit of mean reversion, which is simply coming back down and testing some of these levels in here, maybe around 4,500, and ideally even lower, so we can pile up some swing positions. But right now what we really have is a strong price reversal, right? We may no longer be in the bear market. It doesn't mean we're going to be hitting new highs tomorrow or even in next year, but what it does mean is we might have set in the first low, right? And that is something really important to take away. This might have been the low of the year and maybe ultimately in the bear market. So let's go ahead and check out some of the other coins. Two coins I like to always look at is Ethereum and Litecoin, because they are in our long-term Crypto 52 challenge. If you guys don't know what that is, just go over to crypto.enslow/challenge. It would help if I spelled challenge right. And this is a really simple way to learn how to invest, and especially learn to invest in crypto. And I have a bunch of videos that talks about this challenge. So just go over here, you can say get all the new videos about this challenge and really learn more about it. So I won't dive into it too much, but definitely check it out. It's a really fun and simple way to learn how to get involved in the market. So let's go ahead and dive down to Ethereum. So what are our plans for Ethereum? Ooh, I have to get rid of this first. Oh, God, this is really strong. Sweet. Okay, we are back to Ethereum, and you know what? I'm going to start on the daily because I was waiting for it to load, and I guess the screen, it just doesn't go far back enough. And what I really want to talk about is these two blue lines right up here. So these two blue lines were initially a big point of a resistance, right? We came up here, flew all the way up, and then we did not break out from it here. And then we came back down and hit support here. And then officially these two blue lines became our support levels that allowed us to shoot into the big run up that we had in 2018, or really in the end of 2017, beginning 2018. And anyway, now if you follow these lines, we're coming back here, and originally they acted as a major support level. We saw huge support in here for about 2 months, and then we finally cracked it. When we cracked it, that's when things really sold off really heavy. So what happened was, in the last week, we came back and retouched those areas. And it's really interesting because this is going to be major resistance levels. So it's going to be interesting to see if we can break above these levels, because if we can, they may become new support again. And if they become new support, then we're definitely going to be seeing a big trend reversal. My theory is we're going to be seeing a lot of profit taking right around here. And that's what I said last week as well. But we might come back down here, and as long as we hold our highs, it's going to be a very bullish indicator for a second run up, and that is kind of what I'm expecting right now. Price to go down a little bit. It would be really nice to open some swing trades right around here and look for a second breakout to the upside. But let's actually see. I was talking about this quite a bit in our day trading watch list that I published today, which everyone in the private Discord trading chat group already got access to. Let's go to Litecoin. Litecoin is my baby. I love trading Litecoin. The reason I like trading Litecoin so much, if you don't know already, it simply moves a lot more than Bitcoin, right? If Bitcoin is up 2%, Litecoin is up probably around 6%. You can see even right here, Bitcoin is just at -0.3 and Litecoin is about 4%. And there's a lot of liquidity. There's a lot of people trading it, so you could even get in and out with $20,000, and it barely moves the market whatsoever. So it's a really fun coin to trade, because yeah, just a large cap and it moves quite rapidly. So again, like I was talking about, I had a limit order right around here at 85. No, it was 85.75. So right above this area. I did miss it. It would have been a really nice bounce. We'll see what happens. I might enter this trade. If we start having a little bit of a reversal, I'll probably enter this trade, and it'll definitely be a day trade, not a swing trade. But it would be really nice to get in closer to the support level, but we'll see what happens. If we keep holding our highs, I might be a little bit more aggressive, but ultimately you never want to chase a trade. Always let the trade come to you. And right now, I'm not really sure how I feel about this trade, but I will be writing in the chat group, the private Discord trading chat group, if I have any plans to enter the trade, so you'll know there first. Again, a very conservative entry would probably be closer to this one, as if we do break this support line, I have a feeling we might be crashing relatively quickly. So my hands are a little bit off. And one more thing we could review is we could just check out XRP for a little bit. It's always fun to see what XRP is up to. This is on Bitfinex. Okay, let me move here. 4 hour. So I did not talk about XRP too much in the watch list. I had one really nice trade on XRP, and we can even probably see it on this one. And you can see how I got out of here way too much. This is on Coinbase, so it has less history, but again, guys, I talked about this in my last weekly trading review, but all it was is we were holding our highs here. We had a ranging market, and we crashed here, but we crashed with zero volume and came right back up. That's a huge bullish indicator. What I did was I entered on this red candle as we were approaching the support again, and I simply sold it when we were under this resistance zone really quickly. This was an overnight trade. I talked about this trade quite extensively, so I'm not going to talk about it in this video. But what happened here is we finally broke out of this resistance zone with huge amount of volume, and then we even came back and we fully did retest it, and again here we came back to this level. So these would have been great swing trades. I missed all of these trades last week since I was so busy with everything else. Luckily I was able to capitalize on a lot of the downwards movement, so that was really nice. But yeah, guys, again, this is how you find nice trading setups that are very very, very good risk reward, right? If you enter the trade anywhere near here, even over here, you know, you have big support right around here. And the best would have been just to enter right around here by placing a bunch of limit orders right here. And then you could just sell as we approach former highs, right? You could have cleaned a clean 15% here, easy, I would say. It does not take, what's a good way to put it, right? It doesn't take really a lot of luck or anything. You just have to know how to analyze the chart. You see support here. If you miss this entry like I did, you could have easily got in again here and maybe around this shoulder right here. So let's say you entered here and again you wanted to sell near maybe where the bodies were closing, and right around here you could still got away with, I would say, 10-11% fairly easy. So and this is all without, right, this is just getting the meat of the move, right? Aim small, miss small. What we're aiming for is a nice bounce back to the upside. We're not looking for a, you know, a massive like 200% or anything like that. That would be investing. That's a whole different strategy. But with day trading and swing trading, you could become very consistently profitable just for looking for these clean setups and doing them over and over again. And that's what we do. And all year so far, knock on wood, we have been profitable every week just by doing these exact trades over and over again. And yeah, so now we're growing our account size consistently. Our goal right now is to get it to $50,000 and then $100,000. So let's hope, or let's keep working on it to get to $50,000 for this year. I know it's really early over there in Florida. Right now I'm in Berlin, but like always, we will end this on a Q&A session. Right now there's nobody in the chat, and I did not get any questions from you guys the week before because, well, we're talking all the time in the private Discord trading chat room. I think our trading chat room now has 64 people in it, so that's super awesome. After we launched the new profitable crypto trading course, which got 100 people on sign up day, so that was massive, and that really propelled the whole growth of the trading chat room. But you guys, if you have any questions, remember 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, that is when I do these live weekly trade reviews. So it's the same time every week. Unless I'm traveling maybe, then I'll have some sort of announcement that I might do it offline or something like that. Yeah, and if you have any questions because you cannot get to this at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, just email me ahead of time and ask me, you know, to review maybe a specific chart or something like that. And I'll review it, and then you can always watch this on a playback, so that's no problem either. So, so yeah, guys, if you want to learn more about how to become a consistently profitable trader, we have two resources. One is the profitablecryptotrader.com course, and this is a full course with 49 videos right now. My plan is to make that a lot more, right? I want to make probably between 50 and 60 videos by the end of the year. So every time I have some chart patterns I want to additionally review, or some specific lessons or something that's really relevant, I'll go ahead and add it in a video. It's only $395, so a super good deal compared to a lot of the other courses out there, and it's all based on real trades and real lessons and everything that I do. So everything is put into here. You also get access to the private Discord trading chat room, and you get lifetime access. So you know, I've been trading for 6 years, but I don't plan on stopping anytime soon. So since you get lifetime access, this course will always be growing. And I can't wait to look forward to learning more about trading with you. And if you do want my, on average, 5 weekly trade reviews, all access to the documented trades that we reviewed here. And the investor portfolio, also get access to the private Discord trading chat room and access to the chart pattern library, which is really badass. It's all statistically backed by my trading, and you can see all of my top wins and, or I guess top short, top long patterns. You get everything right there in the chart pattern library. This is pretty sweet. It's only $27 a month, so if you are interested in really seeing the more day-to-day stuff, definitely check this out. On average, I make about, what, 5 maybe trades a week. This week was exactly 5 trades. So yeah, just go over here to crypto.enzo.com/start, and yeah, you can get started. Sweet, and if you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment below or in the post right here, or just email me at alex@enzo.com, and I'll be super stoked to get back to you, see what your questions are, and hopefully be able to help you out, or maybe you have something interesting to share with me. Anyway, I think that's everything for today, or this weekly trade review. I will see you in in the private Discord trading chat room, or in the next video, which might be Wednesday, but we will see. If not, I will see you guys next week in the new trading review. That's everything. I'll see you guys. Ciao, ciao.